Okay, what we're going to do, after you've combed the clay 3 times, and you feel that comfortable that the lumps have been taken out of the clay, what we're going to do next is to open the clay. We're going to open it up, and I call that making a basic dog dish. It looks like a dog dish when you're through, and that's preparing it to make your pull, to make a cylinder. So you want to do it well, and you're also establishing the base of your pot. So right now, when I'm through coning, I'm looking at the bottom of this piece of clay right now, and I'm establishing how wide is my base going to be. It probably could be a little bit less than this. If I wanted a more narrow base, this is the time to correct it. I could actually push in, the clay could be a little taller and make a little bit more narrow base. All my pot's base is going to be this wide, what I have right now. So I'm already kind of establishing the bottom of the pot. So I'm going to push in just a little bit to make a little bit smaller base. That's what I'm looking at right here. And I'm kind of establishing that. The next thing you want to do is actually open this clay up. And I'm going to show you my method. As I said before, there's other methods. Whatever works for you. If you can figure out another way to do it, please teach me how or whatever. I'll be glad to learn. I have no problem at all. What I'm going to do, I call this thumb over thumb. What I'm doing, I'm taking my left thumb and putting it over center, taking my right thumb, steadying, and just going down to my knuckle. And that's making a nice bullseye over the thumb. Left thumb, right thumb coming over. When I do this, if you'll notice, my elbow's on my leg, this arm, elbow is into my body. So I never have a case of the flying elbows with these elbows just out here like this, because that means my arms would be moving all over the place. My hands. Always brace against your body whenever you can. Always brace. Find a place to brace on. Okay, thumb over thumb. The next step, I call this thumbnail to thumbnail. I'm putting 2 thumbnails together and going in like this to almost the bottom of the pot, which should be 3/4 of an inch. So I'm just pushing down. As I said, everybody's got a different method of doing this. This is just the one I use. Take the needle tool, stab the bottom of the pot, which is the entire needle tool, so it's way too thick. I want it to be 3/4 of an inch. About right there. I've got the entire needle tool. So I've got to go down a little bit further. Once you open, you want to slow it down to about half speed. Stab with the needle tool again. Some students get nervous about stabbing, but it doesn't bother me. That's about 3/4 of an inch. That's about what I want to see. So what I'm going to do now is to open it up. The inside at the base is about the size of a dime because my fingers were pressed in. What I'm going to do now is to take these fingers, put it at the bottom, and I'm going to brace against my right hand, which is going to be on the outside. I've got a little water. Speed it up just a little bit. A little slow. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create the bottom of the pot by just pulling out. I need to look inside because it's easy to do this or it's easy to push down. I can either pull up and make the bottom a U shape, or I'll push down and push the bottom out of the pot. So I really would prefer to have a horizontal base. So I'm going to look inside. I have a mirror on the top just so you can see. But I think it really helps to look inside. And then I'm going to pull this clay out. My hands are pulling out. If this was a clock, it'd be about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, about right through here. I've got my hand coming out. Here, moving. This is bracing, grabbing this knuckle, pulling this hand out like this. Next thing I want to do after I've got it open, I've got about 4 inches inside. I want to take this right angle rib, the corner will go dead center, and then I will compress the bottom of the right angle rib. That will be from center out to 3 o'clock. I'm compressing. This will be the radius of the interior. Really pressing down, taking some clay out. There's 2 things that happens with the bottom of the pot. One, it makes the bottom look nice. It makes a nice flat bottom. So aesthetically, it's nice. Two, it compresses the clay, so you'll have more dense clay and less likely to have the bottom crack because it compresses the bottom. And that's basically opening. If you remember, on opening, I did thumb over thumb, thumbnail to thumbnail, hand over hand is what I call that. So I'm pulling out this way. A lot of students will actually, when they go thumb to thumbnail and they hit bottom, they'll just open that up. I find it very easy to go off center. If you're not really super strong, hold those hands tight. I don't particularly like that method unless you're working with a very small piece of clay, and that works pretty well. But on a larger piece of clay, I like to have hands